nostalgia critic. I remember it so you don't have to. Folks, we need to talk about the Bartman. Let's go back to a simpler time, when a cartoon boy swearing was the most shocking thing on TV.
So, any idea where this bastard lives?
Bart! It's no question that The Simpsons has shaped and redefined humor for so many of us, but people forget in the early years they were not only popular, they were insanely popular. Well, Bart was insanely popular. With commercials, toys, video games, and countless t-shirts, Bartmania, as everyone called it, and by everyone I mean Fox executives, was on fire. People, especially kids, ate up his anti-authority nature, especially when authority itself tried stomping him out.
Make American families a lot more like the Waltons and a lot less like the Simpsons.
Thank God that didn't backfire.
How many times were you president, George?
At the height of his popularity, Bart was given what every popular icon in the early 90s was given, a music video. Do the Bartman was one of the many songs on the hit album Simpsons Sing the Blues, and in 1991 it was given its own special video airing on Fox. It was filled with every late 80s cliche trying to turn into early 90s cliches. But what makes this stand out is not just the video itself, but the fascinating story in the making of the video. Now granted, I've never reviewed a nostalgic song before, but I present that argument with this picture of Bart waving his ass at you. To understand the story behind the video though, we must first analyze the video itself. So journey back to a time when this was risque.
Bastard, 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 bastard.
This is Do the Bartman. The Simpsons are off to see Bart's 4th grade recital, which unfortunately has him all the way in the back. But Bart will fight back those boring adults whose 90s commercials explain just don't get us.
Bubble tape is not part of a well-balanced diet.
As he plugs in his own music.
Yo, hey, what's happening, dude? I'm a guy with a rep for being rude.
Oh dear, I feel an impromptu ninja rap coming on. He starts rapping in front of the crowd about what a troublemaker he is, as Skinner has to look up his file to see who he's dealing with.
I'm the kid that made the link with C and Art. Last name Simpson, first name Bart.
I have a hard time believing Skinner doesn't know who this kid is by now.
I'm here today to introduce the next phase, the next step in the big Bart craze.
Ooh, he's going to introduce the next phase. I'm so excited to see what's up next for the BCU. He then proceeds to tell us how to do the Bartman. I assume it ties in with awkwardly timed baseball catching.
So move your body if you got the notion. Front to back in a rock-like motion. Do it to the music, that's the Bartman.
Whoa, those boys' testicles dropped. Gotta give credit to a song that recommends do the Bartman if you can, as in are able to. Not everybody is Bartman accessible. Also gotta love a kid's music video that shows school figures taking a shot out of a flask. My mom said it was chocolate milk and I still stand by that. And judging by that reaction, it was probably Yoo-hoo. Of course, the Bartman can't be contained and has to make its way to the streets, where the Bartman was practically born. It was Dice, Lines of Coke, and the Bartman. We segued to a couple of weeks ago when he was sent to his room for putting mothballs in the beef stew. Could perhaps doing the Bartman change his woes? I call false advertising. I purchased the first comic. There was no mention of this dance move at all.
You can do the Bart, you're bad like Michael Jackson.
No thanks. I've seen what your interpretation of Michael Jackson looks like. I'm not impressed. Bart sneaks out of his suburban home, which has suddenly been moved to a more urban landscape. Perhaps it was shot when they moved to Capital City. As he continues to explain how to do the Bartman without actually showing us how to do the Bartman. Yeah, weirdly enough, Bart never does the Bartman in this music video. Isn't that like singing the Hokey Pokey but doing the electric slide? But Homer interrupts their fun, telling them to turn it down.
Will you stop that infernal racket?
Do the Bartman! You can't stop us, you old fart! The Bartman is a movement! Bart plugs his ears after hearing the most sound grating of instruments. The saxophone?
Oh my ears! Put that saxophone away!
Wait until they invent Nickelback, kid. Bart is so popular, even dogs are converting their language to his name. Terrifying, I know, but it's still less creepy than the Bart Simpson phone. Bart's posse awaits his ever-dope rhymes.
Now I'm in the house, feeling good to be home, till Lisa starts blowing that damn saxophone.
There's an irony that years later, Bart would have a posse from rapping, being what the show calls a prankster rapper. But they don't have the air-swimming vibes these badasses have.
And if it was mine, you know they'd take it away. But still I'm feeling good, so that's okay. I'm up in my room just a singing a song. Listen to the kick drum kicking along.
You ever notice Bart isn't really rapping about much? He says how to do the Bartman, lets his backup singers demonstrate, never doing it himself, then raps about getting sent to his room and hearing Lisa's saxophone. Doesn't seem like much cause for a high-production music video, but then again, neither did Kazam, and I forgot what my point was. We cut to people all over the world not doing the Bartman. Even Barfly's asses get caught up in the beat. And what the hell? There's an action figure of alien Mr. Burns, but not these background characters. Actually, I forget which one's which. Look, even Skinner and Krabappel have decided to join in. They were so angry before, but now they're just dancing along. That's the power of the Bartman. It unites all people through its rock-like motion. Or bitter drinking. It's probably bitter drinking.
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
Even Mr. Burns' his security is getting into it. And heads up, this is the funniest scene in the video. See, I told you Carl was gay. No, not that Carl. Anyone named Carl on the show is gay. Even the church and Satan can see eye to eye over the Bartman. Now, if only they can stop possessing everyone's upper half of the face. You paused those scenes too, don't act like you didn't! But the song comes to an end as it looks like it was all part of Bart's fantasy. Oh good, I can still consider this part of the Simpsons canon. I'd hate for their continuity to get askewed. Do the Bartman, I guess not surprisingly, was a big hit. It reached number 11 on the Billboard charts, topped several other charts all over the world, was played on MTV for several months, and made their Simpsons Sing the Blues album go platinum. It even led to a sequel music video called Deep Deep Trouble, also featuring Bart rapping about him being punished. It seemed like all the hard work paid off, and what do you expect when now world-famous director Brad Bird was in charge? That's right, the director of Iron Giant and The Incredibles movies got his start directing Simpsons episodes. And according to Bird himself, he said this was the hardest thing he'd ever done. The video was apparently so rushed that they had to storyboard it in just 2 days, then fly out to Varga Studio in Hungary and do the show in only 2.5 weeks. Holy God, it takes me a month to animate a ball bouncing on my post-it notes. This was only 2.5 weeks? That explains a little bit why some of the background characters don't quite look finished, but honestly, I kind of prefer this style of animation over the recent style of animation. Don't get me wrong, the recent style is very clean, smooth, and allows for more jokes to be squeezed in, but the old style had so much more life to it. They felt like they were leaping off the screen. And this video is one of the best examples of it. Funny enough, there was apparently even a choreographer, which I guess makes sense when you compare the dancing in the show to the dancing here. Look at that GIF animation go! Bottom line, they worked their asses off for this and it clearly shows. Not bad for a Michael Jackson song. Oh yeah, that's another interesting side note. Michael Jackson apparently wrote this song. Though not credited, Matt Groening claims that Jackson called him up one day, said he was a big fan of the show, and wanted to give Bart a #1 single. So he wrote, produced, and even did the backup vocals for the song. Yep, that's apparently Jackson himself singing those parts.
Hey everybody, did I remind you?
Groening said he was shocked nobody figured it out, as Bart references Jackson twice in the song. And as Groening put it, who else would do that? Well, maybe not him? Brian Lauren, the person who got credit for writing and producing the song, said that despite Groening's confession, he was the sole writer. Groening says Jackson couldn't come out about it because he was under contract with another studio. But Lauren states he was the only one who wrote it. Despite this rather large disagreement, Lauren did state that Jackson did provide the title for the song, the backup vocals, and yes, requested that he be mentioned in it. That's ignorant, you're ignorant. I have no idea which one of these is true, but either way, Jackson had involvement with this song, even leading to a guest star appearance on the show, again, being uncredited. Don't worry though, I'm sure Bart represented him when he showed up to the American Music Awards.
Hi, KT.
Hi, Bart.
I'm the Bartman.
By Christ, is that terrifying! Yep, this is what doing the Bartman apparently gets ya. No joke, that's pregnant Nancy Cartwright in there with clear evidence now to why she did Rhapsody Street Kids. If I had to act in that, I don't know what the hell I would say yes to afterwards.
Hey, fun has a middle name. It's Bartholomew J. Simpson.
Oh God, take that off screen! Overall, much like the video, the details are fuzzy, but the final product is really creative and fun. Sure, it's corny and rough around the edges, but that's kind of part of its charm. It has a wonderful amount of energy that's trying every second to entertain you in a musical or visual way. It's a product of the times in the silliest and most enjoyable ways. I don't know if a ton of people are going to be rocking out to this anytime soon, but for me, and the people who saw it when it premiered, we remember when for a short, enjoyably ridiculous amount of time, every kid was doing the Bartman. Nostalgia Critic Guy, remember? So you don't have to.
Everybody, if you can do the Bartman, shake your body, turn it out. If you can't, do the Bartman, yeah.
That is so 1991.